Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving into a massive shift in global shipping. You know, the very idea of what it means for a ship to be ready for sea is being completely torn up and rewritten. We're going to break down exactly why. For the longest time, the answer to this question seemed pretty simple, right? You needed a solid ship, a good crew, and a clear destination. But today, a whole new set of powerful forces are changing that equation entirely. Yeah, that era of simple readiness, it's over. Today, being ready means fighting a constant battle on three different fronts: the physical world, the digital world, and, of course, our environmental future. And you have to master all three just to compete in global trade. So let's tackle that first front: physical resilience. And this isn't just about weathering a storm anymore. We're talking about navigating a global trade map that's being redrawn by conflict, practically in real time. It all really kicks off with the threat of drone attacks in the Red Sea. But look, this isn't just some regional problem. It is forcing a huge strategic pivot for the entire industry. It's disrupting that critical sea link between Asia and Europe, and you guessed it, putting the whole global supply chain under serious stress. The impact on time alone is just staggering. Rerouting all the way around Africa adds up to 15 extra days to a single trip. Think about that. That's 2 more weeks of paying for fuel, paying salaries, and dealing with total scheduling chaos. And of course, that brings immense financial pressure. War risk insurance premiums for any ships that still decide to brave that Red Sea corridor have shot up by a quarter. Insurers are, well, reacting exactly how you'd expect to this much higher risk. And the data, it tells the story loud and clear. We're seeing this massive 38% month-on-month jump in vessels choosing the longer but safer route around the Cape of Good Hope. It is a dramatic but totally understandable reaction to a really volatile situation. So what this all does is create this whole new rerouting economy. It's not just about a longer journey. It affects everything. Fuel costs are soaring, crew rotations are a mess, contracts are being frantically renegotiated, and ports in East Africa, places like Mombasa and Dar es Salaam, are suddenly under incredible logistical strain. And at the end of the day, all these extra costs can work their way right down the supply chain to the price of goods on our shelves. Okay, so while all these ships are taking the long way around on the high seas, a second battle is being fought. And this one isn't on the waves. It's in the ones and zeros that control our modern ports. This is the new digital mandate. You know, for years, cybersecurity in shipping was kind of treated like a suggestion box, a list of best practices, good ideas to try if you had the time and budget. Well, that has fundamentally changed. We are now in an era of regulated, mandatory compliance. Digital safety just isn't optional anymore. The European Commission is really leading the charge on this with a brand new framework for all its major ports. And this isn't some gentle recommendation. It comes with a hard deadline of mid-2026. They need to have modern, unified risk systems in place by then. The clock is definitely ticking. And you know what they say, where policy goes, money follows. In response, EU port terminals are already boosting their security modernization budgets by as much as 8%. This is a direct, tangible investment in digital defense. This quote just nails the paradigm shift perfectly. In the 21st century, a port's firewall is every bit as critical to its operation as its physical breakwater. A digital attack can shut down a port just as effectively as a hurricane. All right, that brings us to our third and final front, and this one is all about looking to the future. It's the race to power the next generation of ships. It's about building real momentum towards a sustainable, clean energy fleet. Now, there are a lot of options on the table, but the industry is placing some pretty big bets on a few key technologies. And one of the clear frontrunners, especially for those huge deep-sea vessels, is green ammonia, a potential zero-carbon fuel source. And listen, this isn't just something happening in a research lab. Singapore is actively turning this theory into practice. It's expanding its pilot program, it's partnering up with major shipping lines, and it's even creating a dedicated safety corridor for trials. It is going all in on being the global leader in clean energy readiness. So why is this such a big deal? Because this is the exact moment the energy transition leaves the pages of policy papers and actually arrives at the docks. It is forcing the creation of brand new infrastructure, new training standards, and a whole new benchmark for what it even means for a port to be ready for the future. So we've got these three powerful forces, right? Physical rerouting, digital defense, and the green energy transition. So how do they all come together to create this new, well, much more complex definition of readiness? Well, the key thing to get is that these are not isolated problems. They're all interconnected market signals, and they're creating real-world economic ripples, from rising insurance costs and mandatory tech spending, all the way to shaping how we design ships and creating brand new investment opportunities in places like East Africa. So here's the bottom line. Readiness is no longer a simple one-dimensional checklist. It's a holistic discipline. Being truly ready today means you have to have simultaneous mastery across the physical, the digital, and the sustainable fronts. It's the whole package. Which leaves us with one final thought. While all three of these fronts are demanding attention right now, which one of these powerful forces, geopolitical resilience, digital security, or the green transition, do you think is going to be the one that most profoundly shapes the future of global trade over the next decade?